So we're joined today by Ider, we're joined by Lily and Megan. They've recently announced a UK tour, which will be taking in Manchester's Gorilla. And the announcement comes off the back of their latest album, Shame. Brilliant album, highly recommended to everybody. Lily, Megan, welcome. How's everything going for you?
Hello. Thank you. Yeah, we're good. Pretty good. Getting cold over here in London. Got a bit of a sore throat, but all right.
It's no warmer up here.
Non-COVID flus, but yeah, all good.
Oh, I can tell you it's no warmer up here at all. It's absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, we can't complain actually. Yeah, I bet it's cold up there.
Cool. I mean, it's what, 3 months now since you released Shame. So now that you've had that bit of a gap, what are your thoughts looking back now? It's settled now, it's out there, you've had the fan reaction. Now you look back at it, what do you think and feel about the album?
Ooh, do you know what? I listened to it fairly recently.
Did you?
Because it's such, I'm sure kind of other artists and bands would probably say a similar thing. You know, you're so involved in it and like just the long painful process of mixing, mastering and releasing everything. You're so involved in it, and then as soon as it comes out, it's like you don't want to hear anything, you don't want to hear it, you know, you really just like need that space. Yeah. So it's nice to come back actually and have a listen, and feeling pretty good, feel really just really proud. I think is the first feeling that comes to mind, because we really kind of did it ourselves, and we released it through the pandemic, or we at least recorded it and put it together during the pandemic. And I think like looking back at what a shit show of a year and a half it's been, it's I'm really proud. Nice.
Yeah.
That's good. You feel the same?
I mean, you mentioned there that you've done it all yourself. How did that feel? Did you feel more pressure or relief that you had complete freedom?
I think probably both, being completely honest. I think that with everything, you know, everything's a double-edged thing, isn't it? And I think with the enormous freedom that we had with it, also there was a lot of responsibility and a lot of work in a new way, in a way that we kind of hadn't experienced yet, I guess. But then that just creates more reward as well, I think, having that sense of ownership and responsibility. And so I think very creatively freeing, and really, really enjoyed writing it and producing it and creating the project. So I would say a little bit of both, but overall, very empowered by the process and learned a lot, and very proud of it, like Mick said.
Brilliant. I mean, I think it's fair to say it's a bit more experimental than your previous release. Was that something that happened organically, or did you deliberately set out to sort of push things a bit in a different, not a slightly different direction, but to experiment a bit more?
Yeah, I think, well, the first thing that I would say with that is that I think came from the fact that we co-produced the album, and we hadn't co-produced any of our work before. So I think with that comes the kind of like the happy accidents, the slight, the like naivety, but it's something that is so amazing, I think, that really kind of can set things apart and give a real uniqueness to art and music when you're doing it for the first time. And so I'd say maybe that's where, just in terms, comparatively with Emotional Education, I do think you're right. I think there is a slightly more left feel to it. It's definitely under the pop umbrella, but it does feel a bit more experimental comparatively to Emotional Education. And I think that probably came from the fact that we were producing it for the first, our music for the first time with other people.
Definitely. And I think the process was slightly different because of that. We had the time to just kind of
Yeah, we had the time.
Yeah, we weren't in and out of studios. We were just
or touring.
Yeah, we were.
It was lockdown, so I guess it was like the world's ending, so we may as well, push the boat out.
Yeah, anything goes. World's almost over. What? Let's try it.
Yeah.
Excellent. And I mean, you mentioned there about co-producing it, etc. I mean, one thing I particularly love about the album is the way it flows from start to finish.
Oh.
Tell us a bit about how you approached that and decided on the track order and how you put it together.
Do you remember?
Or was that a happy accident?
I do remember having. I do remember going through and figuring out the order and like what worked and what flowed, and like there felt like some obvious points of this would be first. Or
we knew how we wanted to open it, and we knew that how we wanted to close it. We knew we wanted to open with Cross Yourself and end with Midlands Girl.
Yeah, and then it was just kind of filling in the middle. And then I think we did kind of like think when we had the order. I think we did think a little bit about, okay, how does this song go into that song?
Exactly.
And we did a few of those kind of bits.
Yeah, having the perspective, which we didn't really have for the first album, did we?
No, we just made loads of singles and then chucked it on an album.
But it felt like a little bit more like I guess like album territory, in the sense that we had that again time to gain the perspective. And we did listen to, which I'm sure lots of people do when they're making an album, we listen to so many different alternative orders. We just kind of lost our minds.
Which is insane, because by the end of it, it's just a mush.
I made my dad drive around in his car, because the good car speakers are really good kind of to listen to a master. It's the old, like, it's what you do. And we have really shit cars, so I just made my dad drive so many times, listening to just the album in different orders, and we had to start from the beginning every time.
Because you got lit here the whole order.
And when you landed on that final one, the final mastered version, the final track listing in order, what were your thoughts when you decided on this is what we're going with? What were your thoughts on that first listen back?
Was that a banger?
Absolutely banging. I think it did really work, actually. I remember feeling like that. There wasn't any moments where we were like, ooh. No, I think it felt like, okay, this makes sense.
Brilliant. And I mean, it's well documented that more than just bandmates, you're best friends, and that feeds into a lot of your music. It feeds in, you work well and you're creative together. Is there ever a flip side to it, where you find that friendship kind of
do we ever
find somewhere?
Is your question.
Is there ever what did you say?
Is there ever a moment where that friendship stops you going in a particular direction or putting something forward?
No, we are actually first and foremost business partners. No.
Put your friendship on the back burner.
I don't know, really. I think we've kind of balanced that really well, don't we? Because our friendship we've only ever known our friendship in like with music.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like we had a kind of pre-existing friendship and then we went into into making music. We met at university and we were in different bands together. We've always had like a kind of working friendship. So what would happen if we didn't do music?
Yeah, that's when it'd all fall apart.
Yeah, we wouldn't be friends.
We'll keep you posted.
And 2022 marks 10 years that you've known each other, and 5 years.
Oh yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Your anniversary, babe.
And it's also 5 years since you released the debut EP.
Yes, 2017.
Yeah. So, do you have anything sort of special planned around those two anniversaries?
I think we should probably plan something.
We should probably have to think about that, Mark. Don't know.
I feel like we are, though, interestingly.
It has already been 5 years since our first single.
No, first EP.
First EP.
Yeah, 2017.
Yeah.
I do feel like we're moving into like, we're both turning 30 next year. And I do feel like we're kind of stepping into a new kind of like chapter I know that sounds like a typical thing, like you're turning 30, it's a new chapter, but you know how it kind of is. It's because it is, I guess, you know, Saturn returning and all that stuff. So I feel like we're kind of like moving into a new phase. I don't know, phase.
Maybe
so with that,
maybe the celebration is the new phase.
Yeah, there feels like that something is being marked.
Yeah.
And it's interesting that like you have reminded us of our anniversaries.
Yeah.
It's funny how that kind of seems
what
to
is
be
it? Is it March 2022?
We put out the EP.
Yeah, March 2017.
And that's when you're turning 30, isn't it?
It is. Big month.
Big month. Big month, big year. And you've just recently announced UK tour. So the first time you'll be able to get out there now for obviously a couple of years. It must have felt good to finally confirm some dates and confirm the UK tour.
Yeah, so good. Absolutely can't wait. I mean, it still feels like a bit of a way off, feeling quite impatient, but also it'll fly by. I think it'll come around quite quickly, and yeah, really looking forward to it.
Right. And for any fans who haven't actually seen you live, what should they expect?
Well, yeah, this is the thing, because like we put the album out and we put Shame out, and you know, usually it would have been around a tour, and that just hasn't been the case for us. So it'd be exciting to kind of meet new fans who've come to us, you know, who've discovered us with Shame and have never seen us live.
Yeah.
And I guess what they can expect.
Harmonies.
Yeah, a lot of harmony,
drama.
Yeah.
Jokes.
Yeah, we've got some good on stage banter, which we're gonna have to kind of brush ourselves up a little bit on that.
Yeah, we haven't got it right now.
Yeah, although I think that will come back quite naturally.
Yeah,
with,
for
like
sure.
Riding a bike,
Bring out your best
big
jokes.
like big sound. You know, we've got a drummer that we tour with, and he's amazing. And yeah, we are a well-oiled machine. It just will have to be. It's just been a while.
It's just a bit rusty.
But yeah, a big show, I think, is what we're gonna be going for.
And what's involved in the preparation for the tour then?
We need to learn our album.
Yes.
First and foremost, which we started doing
in a live way.
bit.
Yeah, we started that already.
And we're actually gonna hang out with our drummer soon and start talking about what we want this tour to look like.
Yeah.
And which songs from the first album are gonna make it onto the second
album.
Well,
this is the thing. Yeah, this is the thing. Suddenly it's like, oh shit. We have to figure that out. Yeah. So yeah. And learn to sing again.
And are there any particular tracks from Shane that you're looking forward to playing live?
I can't wait to play Bored live.
I knew you were going to say that.
I love it. I love it, but it's so live.
Yeah, so true. So true.
What are you thinking?
What am I thinking? Yeah, I mean, I would say Bored as well. I think it's a good live one. I'm also looking forward to getting Midlands Guilt up and running with like all the proper effects on it and stuff, and all the sounds, and maybe all of it really though.
CBB,
I feel quite excited. Yeah, CBB.
That'll be fun. Yeah.
I feel like looking forward to doing that album live.
Yeah, it'll be good.
Brilliant. And I mean, it's been described by yourself as well as quite a confessional album. How does it feel to be sort of on, well, how do you expect it will feel to be on the stage putting that out there, sort of in person to people? What thoughts will be going through your mind about putting yourself out there?
We're quite used to it, I guess.
Yeah, I think like just if we just detach and suppress, then it'll be fine.
Really funny. We've talked about this before on stage, I think, about how like it's really interesting when you play these songs, these really kind of, especially the really emotional songs that are kind of like, you know, they're about a really serious breakup or, you know, a situation that's happened, and they're born from so much emotion. And obviously, you know, you move on and you're not affected by it anymore. You don't think about that person anymore, and then you're there like having to kind of like bring back, and like so many times we'll be singing like quite kind of emotional lyrics, but then your brain just like thinking about what you're having for dinner, because you don't care anymore, but like about like.
However, we will bring a lot of empathy and emotive
We'll have to get back to that
performance
yeah.
to this tour in May.
Moving false, yeah.
Brilliant. And one of the things that I loved that you've done on social media is the Confessional series.
We need to do
Inviting-
another one.
Yeah, I forgot.
We need to do a comeback.
Should we do a Christmas special?
Thank you. That's really nice to hear.
Christmas confessions.
We need to bring that back. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
Maybe do it post Christmas, and you can get some really interesting material out of that.
That's actually not a bad idea, is
Christmas
it?
is
Like
always
in
the
between
time.
Christmas and the New Year, maybe that would be quite a good time when everyone's like a bit bored.
Yeah, and I feel like Christmas when everyone goes home and you go back to the pub and you see your old schoolmates or your old, and suddenly you end up snogging someone from. You know what I mean? There's always a lot of like goss around Christmas time.
I think we should do that.
Okay.
So I was going to ask you, what's the best confession that you've received on there? Is there one that sticks out that you think, oh my God, that's something else?
Yeah, there's been quite a few.
There's been a few. I actually can't think of anything
One
now.
actually, that the first one that comes to mind, we had a party for our album. We did like an album launch, and we made a confession booth. And the next morning we were going through confessions that people had left. So we knew who it wasn't totally anonymous because we knew who was at the party, but we didn't know who were writing these confessions down. And one of them was like, I can't stop thinking about someone in the room, but it's really inappropriate or something like that. And we couldn't work out who it was. We were trying to guess via the handwriting.
We were trying to do it because some people had given us cards or like written notes to us, and we were trying to like compare handwriting to figure out who it was.
Which is not allowed. It's not the point of a confession.
Not the point at all.
But that was quite
anonymous.
interesting because I think someone, clearly there was an inappropriate crush going on.
An inappropriate crush. Scandalous. There was some really funny ones though. I wish I could remember them. Gonna have to do a recap.
My favourite was the it was kind of gross, but the guy that was spitting in his parents' coffee.
Oh my God, was that awful?
That is terrible.
I know.
That's some suppressed feelings right there.
Yeah.
Putting it all in the coffee.
Yeah, I'll have a look at brew the same now.
Yeah.
And then obviously leading on from that, do you have any confessions about any of your gigs, your music, or your approach to music, or music that you've bought that you'd rather not acknowledge?
Oh.
Okay, well, I mean, our confessions are in the album, first and foremost, but some other scandalous confessions. What music have you bought that you wouldn't care to admit?
I don't know.
You're quite proud of your music taste.
It's a bit dad rock,
Yeah, you're
dad rock vibes, but I love that. I love. Yeah, I'm not ashamed of that.
You're not ashamed of that.
Okay, confessions. Oh, I don't know.
We're angels.
No. I'm trying to think if anything's happened at a gig that's. I can't think.
No, I can't think. Sorry.
That's really
That's
bad.
right.
We need to talk about that sleeve.
Well, we do, but also, not willing to give them away anyway.
Cool. Oh, we'll keep that secret then.
Trying to play us at our own game.
Well, hopefully your tour, you'll have some little confessions stuff off the back of that. But obviously, you're looking forward to your tour. It should be great. Thank you so much for your time. It's been an absolute pleasure speaking to you. Love the album. So,
cheers, thank you.
thanks so much.
We'll see you in May.
Yeah.
Definitely. Cool. Great. Thanks so much for your time. It was really good. The album's brilliant, and looking forward to catching you live.
Oh,
thank you so much.
Yeah, lovely to chat to you.
Have a good weekend.
Thanks, you too. Cheers.
Bye.